Hello there! A year ago, almost to the day, I posted this video. I'm going to try and do a tracking test where I can have the drone flying just in front of me and slightly above and walk along and do a bit of talking to it. Now, it wouldn't do this automatically, which is unfortunate. Now, a year further down the line, we actually have what I have been hoping for a year, which is an app that will allow you to use the drone as a tracking camera when you're out on your own, you don't have anyone else. It's the Litchi app and it's now available for iOS, and here's how the track mode works. You select track and then you pinch a square around your subject. Then you hit follow, click I understand the risks, and it's then going to start tracking you or not. So it should now start tracking you and moving back as you move forward, and it does a not bad job. It's a bit glitchy though, like I'm getting really close to the camera and I don't want to be this close, so could you move back a bit please? So once you position the drone roughly where you want it to be to track you backwards, you pinch a square around the object you want tracked, which is me, and then you hit the auto follow mode, which is the icon of the wee man or the wee person moving. Then you hit I understand the risks, and it should start tracking. As I start moving forwards, the drone will start moving back and track me, although it doesn't seem to be moving as fast back as I'd like it to. So the app is a bit glitchy, for sure. So it's going to take a little while to mess about with the settings and get it just the way you want it. And what you also have to bear in mind is you don't really want to hear the drone on your microphone. So you should have it at a distance that's far enough back that it's not going to pick up the microphone, or the microphone's not going to pick up the rotors. Now at the moment, this microphone will be picking up the rotors because the drone is very close. But if we give an example now of how we can move the drone a bit further back, and then you can use the zoom facility. So the drone's a bit further back, and I can move forward, and it should stay at a bit of a further distance, which should reduce the volume of the rotors on the mic. But it doesn't seem to move back quite as fast as I'm moving forward. And it is a bit glitchy, but I'll come to that in a minute. But you can see it has certain applications, provided you start off and you get it at the right height, which you can adjust on the go. And once you get it right, and you're not using the sun, which is going to silhouette you, let's see if we can turn round and move in a direction where the sun's maybe not going to silhouette me quite so much. So let's talk about the glitchiness and why this maybe isn't as usable as we'd like. So there you can see it's lost me. And that is one of the features, one of the glitchy parts of it. Doesn't take much to start tracking again though. You can just pinch back around the object you want to track, hit follow, and it should start tracking you again. I say it should. It doesn't always. And that's one of the reasons why this isn't really a usable app, a usable feature. But there's another mode where it does a similar task, and it's called the follow mode. So if we switch into follow mode, this time it's going to track the GPS signal and rather than track the object that you have highlighted. So if we move into a better position here, and this is quite good for having high shots. You can actually go as high as you like. And you can go high enough to make sure that you're free, clear of any possible collisions, and you can set your altitude to wherever you like, set the distance you want it to be at, and hit start, and it will go to that distance and height, and it will track you. And this mode is pretty good for doing a long distance follow. When you're using this mode, you can't make any adjustments to the drone. Your controls won't do anything at all. So if you want to adjust the height of your drone, you have to bring it out of the follow mode. So we'll bring it down just a little bit by coming out of the follow mode and bring the drone down. And the problem with this one is that the lower you have it and the closer you have it to you, the more chance there is of you being out of the frame. As you can see now, I am completely out of the frame. So this mode isn't really much use for flying quite low. And if you're going to be wanting the drone to fly low, it's really the track mode that you want. The follow mode is more suited for flying quite high. You can adjust the gimbal while it's in the air, but it will often readjust itself. But there are a few things that you can mess about with, like the heading. It's on leash at the moment, but you can change that, and you can make it move to the left, and it should track from the left. But once again, it's very slow in picking you up. You can move it over to the right, and it will move to the right and spin round and reacquire you. But once again, it's often going to have you out of the frame. So this isn't a perfect way to have you follow, unless you have it pretty high. Like this, for example. Once you get it up quite high, it'll have no problem following you backwards or forwards. So let's head over to the corner and discuss the actual practicalities of this app. And once again we're in track, and it has lost me straight away. So if I move back to where it reacquires me, as long as I'm walking directly towards the drone or directly away from the drone, it does a not bad job in track of keeping me in the frame. Then I can talk to the camera, and in post, if I zoom in a little bit, crop in a little bit, it's going to look not too bad. Once again, you're probably going to hear the rotors in the video. There you go. As soon as I start to move slightly off, it's still tracking me, but it's not moving towards, it's not following me anymore. Not straight away anyway, it takes a little while to catch up. So a year I've waited for this application to be available, and now it's available and it's not really usable. And it's not usable for these reasons. First of all, it's glitchy. It will follow you sometimes, it won't follow you sometimes. It will follow if you're going in a straight line back and forwards most of the time. If you try to move to the side, it's very slow in catching up with you. Even when it is following you in a straight line, it will do it in jumps and starts. So it's not really practical. You're constantly watching and making sure that it's on you and it's not going to hit anything, rather than concentrating on the narration you're meant to be giving. If you switch into follow mode, it will follow you much more accurately, but it has to be at quite a height away. It's not really practical for doing a narration to the camera. You need another camera for that, and you can then switch between the two to show a bit of footage of you at a distance. And the third reason, and the reason that it is highly impractical to use this feature as a narration camera, is because it eats into the battery. The DJI Mini 2 battery is supposed to last approximately 28 to 33 minutes. And I normally get about 25 to 28 minutes out of a battery when I'm flying it. Using this Litchi app and the track mode, you're lucky if you get 10 minutes. That means you can go through 3 batteries in the space of 30 minutes and have very, very little footage from it. So as far as I'm concerned, it's not practical yet, and to be honest with you, I don't think it ever will be. So thanks very much for watching this. If you got something out of this, please give us a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I'm out of here.